When I say Native American, what images come to your mind? Unless you are an Indigenous person or very closely connected with Indigenous people that are alive today, then you might have some very inaccurate ideas about that term. What you think you know about Native Americans might just be a stereotype, or it might not be true at all. I always have to remember that if I'm disconnected from people or ideas, then I might not understand it entirely. Representation is how and how much people or things are shown in our art, in our movies, and the things around us. So an artist might think about how they represent people with different skin tones, different abilities, how they show who is in power or who is good and who is bad. Your visual culture is all of the things that you grow up around seeing, like movies, books, objects, and it's different for everyone depending on where and when you live. This is artist Jeffrey Varegge. He grew up around Pacific Northwest American Indigenous visual culture, but also mainstream American kid visual pop culture, like comic books. Pacific Northwest American Indigenous art is well known for its beauty, and it's called form line. It has all kinds of shapes and motifs that are used in a very particular way. Now let's look at some of Jeffrey Varegge's art. Can you see how the styles of his visual culture came into play in his art? What do you recognize here? What features, what shapes, what characters? Lee Francis is both a publisher and the owner of Red Planet in Albuquerque, New Mexico. It specializes in Native American comics and books. His goal is to consider how Natives have been represented in popular culture and use popular culture to support their own community and show their own ideas and identities. I'd like to try drawing at least 2 different kinds of poses that you can use for your comic book character. Begin with an oval. This first pose is going to be a static pose, which means very still, very solid. It's going to go straight down from the head, so make sure you have at least 6 to 8 head lengths below your head to finish your drawing. Our other pose is going to be a dynamic pose, which means that it's going to be looking very active, like it's in the middle of doing something, and is in motion, is not still. So for both of these, we're going to do the oval for the head and a rectangle below for the body. Out of the top corners of the rectangle come the arms, and the arms should be about as long as the head for the top part of the arm and about as long as the head for the bottom part of the arm as well. To fold these arms at the hips, you can make a V going out from the sides and coming back into the hips. And then your legs should also be 2 parts, an upper leg, a knee, and a lower leg, and then feet on the bottom. This strong stance is called the Superman pose. Now, this dynamic pose also has a rectangle, and it is below the head, but it's tilted a little bit over around on the left-hand side. The arms will come out of the same place, but the arm in front makes a V upwards, and the arm in back makes a V downwards. Remember, the leg in front makes a upside down V going up and then down, and the leg trailing behind goes down and back up. You can always pause, rewind, and rewatch this to practice it as many times as you like. My shadow underneath helps it look like my character is running very fast. So you can see what these words look like. Here is static. I'm writing under the very strong, still, you can never knock me over pose. And dynamic is going under the pose that is just looks like this person would fall if we froze them. You can start to go over any pencil with a darker pen or marker and thicken your lines, particularly the legs and arms. Once you thicken, you can think about the outfit that your character would like to wear. Remember, your character is you, or someone that you know, or a character that you are interested in. It does not have to look like the characters you've already seen in visual culture. And good face proportions means that you would put your eyes about halfway down the face, your nose about halfway down from there, and your mouth about halfway down from there. As always, experiment with drawing more than one time. You can try different outfits, different colors, and you'll find that each time you try and draw a character, their proportions, and different poses, you'll get better and better at this art form. And remember, you as the artist, you will always have control over how you represent different people, different things, different times, and different cultures. You are in control of how you want to be represented. Bring the styles and the people you know and you love into your art.